My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye 007 SpeedLore. Tonight is the 10th and final episode of 2017, and one I've had planned for a very, very long time. Really, from the beginning of the year. Before we get started on the level, I have to give some backstory on SpeedLore itself. Many of you will remember, in the middle of 2014, I did a 20-minute lore episode on Streets Agent. This because Lockwood's now famous Streets 112 video was blowing up at the time, and I wanted to at least give people some context about why Lockwood's 112 meant so much, or why it was so impressive at least. And that little episode I did, 20 minutes long, was really well received, but I didn't really do much with it. I didn't even put it on YouTube until a year later in 2015, and of course people there really liked it as well. And I always had in mind it'd be really cool to tell these stories about other levels in GoldenEye, because a lot of them have really, really amazing stories. But you guys know, if you watch the Silo lore episode 2 episodes ago, I wasn't always 100% committed to making speedrun content and videos. I wasn't 100% sure that this is what I want to be doing. So I never got around to making more episodes. And this year, I decided I was going to commit to doing this. I was going to do the 10-episode SpeedLore series. And that was something I decided early this year when I decided to come back to streaming. And I always knew I was going to start with Frigate's Secret Agent, because that has an amazing story. And I knew I was going to end redoing Streets Agent, telling the complete story. And I never, even though I knew that, I never imagined that this is what it would become. I never imagined in a million years that I could be talking for over 2 hours on some levels and people would be thrilled, excited to listen to the whole thing. It's unbelievable that people really like what I'm doing that much. It's insane. It's really insane. So thank you. You know, to do something that I want to be doing like this, I really love doing it, and have so many people appreciate it. It's truly fulfilling. I know not everybody gets to do something so fulfilling with their time, and so I'm truly appreciative of that. And now I want to acknowledge, really, people who kind of inspired, I would say who inspired me doing this lore series. People who showed me, when I first kind of got involved in Twitch and speedrunning, not speedrunning, but Twitch certainly, people showed that there was a huge thirst for knowledge when it comes to the history of these classic games in the speedrun communities. So, and a few people that come to mind are like Siglemic with these amazing streams, his amazing 70-star Super Mario 64 tutorial, all these stories about these Japanese runners, kind of the prehistory of SM64, was really amazing. Someone like a runner guy, remember his fantastic 100% Ocarina of Time run at AgeDQ 2013, and like just learning so much, kind of stuff that I knew bits and pieces, but putting it all together like that in a really amazing run. It just showed how awesome it was. And of course, the one now known as Narcissa Wright. And I do mean that for sure. I think many of us remember the AgeDQ 2012 Ocarina of Time MST speedrun as sort of the pinnacle of speedrun explanation, really delving into the history of the discoveries and the development of the game. And it was people like these who, played the games over the years, and they were really a source of inspiration for me. Start streaming back in 2012, and as we will see in this episode, I got to a bit of a crossroads at one point, and without these sorts of classic streams and streamers, maybe I wouldn't be doing this today. So they really opened my eyes to how much desire and passion and knowledge there is for this kind of content. And now, it's come to the point where I almost feel like it's my obligation to share it with you. Because if not me, then who? And perhaps all this history would be lost forever for all ages. And so I feel like, almost like it's owed. Someone's got to tell these stories. And tonight we're in for a good story. So, Streets Agent, the GoldenEye stage, many of you will be familiar with. Here are the objectives on Streets Agent. Objective A, pursue Ormov and Natalia. Objective B, minimize civilian casualties. Objective A is literally get to the end of the level. That's it. That's what pursuing Oromov and Natalia is. It's actually get to the level before the timer runs out, but the timer is pretty trivial, as you'll soon see. Now, Objective B, minimize civilian casualties, is kind of funny because, unlike the levels with scientists, like facilities, silo, and caverns, where if you kill 3 you fail, you have to kill like 12 or 15 civilians to fail Objective B. So it's literally like impossible, unless you're messing around, firing and crushing civilians. Unless you're trying to fail it, you're not going to fail Objective B. So this level is literally run to the end, perhaps as pure of a speedrun as possible. Just run to the end. And so I think with that, it's time we show up the first run of the night. And the first run belongs to a very early legend of the game named Sterling Neblet. The earliest documented world record on this level was 117 back in 1998. And this was held by 3 people, Patrick Wessels, Sterling Neblet, and Stephen Zwartes. 116 would be achieved in June 99 by Wouter Jensen. So pretty insane to think, if you know the current record, what the record was nearly 20 years ago, and how kind of far not off what it is now it was then. But, as you'll see over this episode, it certainly evolved in a lot of ways. Wouter doesn't have a video of the 116. We'll watch this video, watch a couple videos of 116s here. Let's start with this one. And as you can see, the quality certainly is much to be desired. But imagine making a video in 1999. I don't even know how you would do it. And, you know, some people asked at the last episode, Runway, to kind of show a very basic playthrough of the level. And I would like to do that in the lore episodes, but it doesn't get more basic than this. Sterling literally is running to the end. And that's all. He gets nailed by a rocket there, but he keeps on running. 1 bar of health. Here's a guard. Avoids a back boost there. And yeah, this is the most basic level you're going to get in GoldenEye. A nice forward boost there. He's at a 1-1 or a 2-0 ratio. And I can't imagine in 99 anyone would really... Oh, he dodges the rocket there. Anyone would really be optimizing things that much. A clean, you know, a pretty clean run. A nice 116. I don't know if we'll be able to even read the timer here. Barely. And Sterling got that as the record. He was the 5th person to get it. And to show you kind of a more clear 116 run, I'll show you this run. Now again, you might have noticed in that last run there, that Sterling's run, something a little different. Something that maybe we hadn't seen, or something unusual. And I'll talk about it here for sure. This is a gentleman named Ryan Honkanen. I swear it's not an alias for me. This is his Streets Agent 116. He didn't get this time as the world record. But it's a more clear run, showing sort of what a 116 looks like. And again, showing how to run to the end of Streets Agent. Well, exactly, Asher. Yeah, Onk Onk is exactly what I was thinking when I saw Ryan Onkanen's name. And, you know, it's just kind of a standard early... Oh, this is insane. I mean, this run is from 2001, I'm in my estimation. But really, yeah, absolutely insane quality. And you can just see... Okay, so the thing that I'm kind of alluding to is that these guys aren't looking down. They're looking up. A lot of people today criticize GoldenEye for being boring because we look down at the ground. That hadn't been developed yet. So on all the levels at this point, we were looking up. Every single one. And you can see Honkanen here was actually kind of trying to lure boosts. That was close to 115, actually. He was trying to lure some boosts by shooting. attracting noise, attracting guard attention, so they would boost him forward and save time. He almost got 115. A pretty solid run, I would say. All right. So, that wasn't quite the record. It's funny about the whole look down thing, look up. If you kind of are more interested, you'll have to see the later runs, how they develop. But if looking up is more interesting to you, then you might be good pals with Mike Uama, because as the story eventually goes, when Alex Anderson eventually did a run at Games Done Quick, the first GoldenEye run in 2013, Mike Uama asked him, "Oh, do you think you could try looking up for much of the run instead of looking down?" And anyways, it's just kind of funny how some people are really, really hateful towards looking down, which you'll see the development of coming up, and some people certainly don't mind it. So the next one I'm going to show, Sterling Neblett would also untie 115, and roughly December 2000 is when he would get that time. Welder would tie that shortly thereafter, and then an old pal named Randy Bukima would get this run in May of 2001, the third person to get the 115. Let's take a look, and we'll see if he did anything differently. A lot of people would play this level and get lost. They wouldn't know exactly where to go, and that's kind of the big difficulty. Another thing if you remember the level well, you remember that there's a tank on this level, much like Runway, the subject of our last lore episode. And it unlike Runway, or kind of like it in some ways, it was discovered at some point that the tank was slower. And so it is better to simply run to the end. And there's a 2-boost run. Oh, here we go. Randy has discovered the art of self-boosting. Let's hope that guard is in that spot holding a grenade launcher. And let's kill him, pick up the grenade launcher, and then look at the ground and self-boost with it. And at this point, it was obviously known from very early that getting shot in the back, a boost, we call it, saves 0.3 seconds. And so with a grenade launcher and 5 or 6 self-boosts, that's about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds to be saved there. And that was able to knock the record down to 115, if you can read that. And I certainly can't read it. But let's see if there's anything more, any more legible run coming along. Later that year in 2001, Mathias Ten Ham would also get the 115, and he would be the 10th person to tie it. So we were at the day and age in GoldenEye history where records would happen and evolve very quickly, and a lot of people would kind of jump on them and tie them. And thinking about 10 people tying the record in 2001, well, there might only have been a few dozen competing members in the elite at the time. So 10 people having the record would be like 50 or 100 having it today, I would say. There's 2 back boosts. That's pretty severe. Well, none of the people had audio, because audio is very hard to record, especially recording video and audio simultaneously. Certainly not something that was commonly doable in the year 2001 for most people, let alone just capturing video at all. I remember I had a digital camera I would record my first videos with in the year 2006, and it couldn't record audio, right? So, yeah, pretty wild. But yeah, we can I guess start to see things getting a little bit refined. Oh, let's see. He's going to pull up and do we get a frame of legibility here? You can sort of make that out. Okay. So 2001, we get to a very, very, very interesting crossroads in GoldenEye history. something clearly was developed not shortly thereafter. And a gentleman by the name of John Kaleda joined the Elite Rankings. And in July of 2002, this was his first post on the Elite Forum in history. This is a very interesting guy. So his first post ever was, this is him, Supernova, John Kaleda. Doesn't even really label the level. Agent 115, Secret Agent 157, Double O Agent 157. Now, clearly I just showed you the Streets Agent record was 115. At this time, the Secret and Double O Agent records were 158. So he came on his very first post. He claimed that he had untied one Secret and Double O Agent. I mean, look at this. Forum posts from 02. It's really, really insane. So then we go to the world record discussion topic. And Eddie Lovins, classic legend, really, Eddie Lovins, former top 10 player, says, who is Supernova, who claimed 115, 157 on Streets? Do something, Clark, Lavery. Please, Clark and Lavery were the administrators, the proof moderators. And so this is really, really interesting here. Supernova says, first impressions are everything. Last night I posted for the first time, and I screwed the pooch. After playing Streets all 3 levels, I decided to post my times, which all 3 tied the current record. I was excited and brain dead at the time of posting. The correct times are Agent 115, Secret Agent 158, Double O 158. The 3 posts made at least were under world record, PR, and a short strat which was removed. Huh. I'm writing to inform the Elite that I erred. Clark, Lavery, please make corrections. I've been a GoldenEye player since day 1. I've been reading the boards for 2 years. I used 1.1 with mini CC. I guess that's like half cruise control. So at this time, it would have been known that if you set the neutral position of the stick down, that's cruising the stick forward. It's always set to go forward. So you lose less time playing 1.1 control style. So I guess that was known. But look at this. He says, and I strafe looking down to where I can barely see the next turn or objective. I can make the goof start talking almost immediately. Later. So I'm assuming that the goof is Valentin. But yeah, I strafe looking down the ground. Yeah, anyways. So a lot of conversation ensues. And if we go to the next page here, you see some more interesting conversation from Supernova. Supernova, what is your real name? And Eddie Lovins asked this. He says, John Kaleda, Burbank, Illinois, May 9th, 1947? 6'0", blonde, GoldenEye player. Later, it's what, this guy's 55 years old playing GoldenEye? You know, I can't see a 55-year-old sitting around playing GoldenEye. It really is insane. Like, what is going on here? What in the world is going on here? Okay, something even stranger is going on. Randy Bukima, who at the time is like a high school kid, goes, hey, Supernova, this is the next day. Where in Illinois are you from? And he says, on the streets of Burbank. What about you? I got 2 tapes to unload. Later, I mean, it's kind of funny how every single kind of post, he says later. It's kind of a classic 55-year-old man on the internet. I mean, just anyone on the internet in 2002, let alone, but certainly an old man. We get some more interesting posts here. A few weeks later, Tyler Probert, kind of a notorious, one of the early trolls in GoldenEye. Has this guy been proved? If he has, great. I just find it a little weird that a guy who isn't even in the top 100 has the world records on Streets. You know? Yeah, like everyone want to see some proof. Sure. You know, Lavery is going to come on down and get the vids, Supernova says. Here we get some interesting posts. You know, he talks about how we plays a strat. Hey, Peter. Perfect strafe to Val. Dance back 3 times. Turn right. Put your left shoulder in the door jamb. Look right. I use the rat hole in the wall. Blah, 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 blah. Look down. go fast. Mini CC, R strafe. Hey, Captain Z, that's Lavery, come on down. And then Clark picks up on it. Clark's like, excuse me, sir. What's this business of looking down? You strafe looking at the floor? An explanation, please? And anyways, the joke is that, yes, Lavery, risk your virginity and visit this guy. Go pick up these proof tapes, see what's going on. Some 55-year-old hanging out with a bunch of high... look, certainly strange. Anyways, Lavery eventually would, as we'll see in a second, but... Supernova, Kaleda, continues. Hey, Clark, did I tell you what a great day it is? Anyways, about looking down. When Perfect Dark first came out, I read a walkthrough by Marshmallow who advised, put your nose down to the grindstone and haul ass. Been doing it ever since. Sure seems faster. I go down the corners and wrong angles like I'm using 1.2, tight in, tight out. When I'm straight at the very top of the screen, I want to see the bottom of my next turn or objective. Put your nose down means speed. Don't overkill. Don't practice this on any of the surface levels. You end up talking a big clown in Egypt. So he's like alluding to what he's doing, but he's kind of doing it in the way of like an old drunk grandpa, really. Look down, put your nose to the grindstone, son of boy. Reminds me of this this drunk 70-year-old on my street named Angelo. Same kind of, you sounds lucid one moment, then you realize he's just kind of out of his mind, talking about a bunch of craziness. So it's like, what is going on here? Really, what's going on here? A couple days later, so we're about a month after Kaleda's joined the Elite, Lavery visited him. The VCR tape has the 115, the 158, and the 158 on it. He is verified. Kaleda is completely and utterly legit. And this was just so strange. Conspiracy theories started floating about instantly. Tyler Probart made a thread saying, is John Kaleda Randy Bukima, are they the same people? And this was something very interesting, is that the name Kaleda not listed on the white pages anywhere in Illinois. Very, very interesting, What else can you say? So this is what happens. And we've seen it happen since. When someone new comes with something innovative or a great record, it's very suspicious, and people look into all the kind of ways to make sure it's possible. So, were these the same people? Now, there are some unconfirmed rumors that, I don't even know if it's true or not, but Kaleda was obviously old, self-claimed 55. The story has it he might have been more close to 35 or 45, but apparently Randy and some of his high school buddies would go to Kaleda's house and play GoldenEye, and they kind of, I don't know, it was, anyways, I don't know if it's an entirely true story, so I have the disclaimer, but maybe Kaleda was playing GoldenEye with a bunch of like 16, 17-year-old kids in his basement after school, and it's a very, very strange, Kaleda would be 70 now, a very, very strange story. Now this is sort of when history begins. Brian Bosshart, the legend he is, figured out what was going on. Bosshart said, looking down on missions. So I've been messing around Streets Agent, and I think if you look down for most of the mission, it saves a hell of a lot of time. I got stuck for 0.5 to 1 seconds, got 2 forwards, 2 backs, got a 116. I think this is what John Kaleda is doing to get his time, so this could be a huge discovery if this is what it is. Brian Bosshart cracked the code. And Yost puts it well. I'm sure a lot of people also had the same opinion. This may be a huge discovery, but if everyone starts looking down every run, get that half a second advantage, I will stop playing GoldenEye. Because that really, really, really takes all the fun out of the game. And some people would echo these thoughts. But as it would turn out, this indeed was the case. It would save time. Looking down would become maybe the biggest innovation in GoldenEye history. The day that was posted, August 27th, 2002. The day that was posted, Randy untied Street Secret Agent. He got 157. Boss tied it immediately. On Double Agent, Boss untied with the 157, and Randy tied it immediately. That's one of the most classic races. Lookdown's invented. These two men are putting their, hauling ass, put their nose to the grindstone, literally and figuratively, to get the Untides. And kind of crazy how, it's mirror images. One gets the Untide on one difficulty, the other gets the Untide on the other difficulty, and then they match those by the end of the day. The agent record was 115. By the end of the day, it would fall indeed to 114. Randy Bukima would get the 114. And the 114 proved a tiny little bit tougher. Boss couldn't match it for another 4 days. Wouter tied it before then. Carl Jobs was actually the 6th person to get it in September 20, about a month later. So it wasn't like 114 wasn't free for sure, but it certainly wasn't the most difficult time in the world to get. This is a run by a gentleman named Adam Moore, an Australian player. This was his 114, and he'd be the seventh person to get it a day after Carl. Let's have a look. Some strange sort of shuffling sounds we're hearing on stream here. So, and now we're starting to look at the ground. This is a pretty good start on it. This is a really solid run by Adam Moore here. Just a lot of good strafing. I obviously couldn't watch all of the early 114s. It's hard to know what percentages of them use the grenade launcher. Both the 115s we watched saw the grenade launcher and self-boosting, which might save 1 or 2 seconds. But it looks like no grenade launcher for Adam Moore here, and it was still enough to get the 114. That's a funny comment, Bonet, for sure. Yes, audio hadn't quite been invented yet, even though look-down strategy had been. There's a 114 by Adam Moore, former top 10 player. Great run, great time. So a lot of people would get 114, and it would sort of become a common record. By the end of 2002, 10 people would have it, Kaleda being the 10th. 14 more people would get it in 2003. That's a lot, especially back then when there weren't too many people in the game. So 24 people had it in total. One of those people who got 114 was a gentleman by the name of Mike Gaydeski. That's his actual name. Everyone always thought it was, humorous back then, certainly. We called him M-Gay for short. This run might have audio. Oh, okay, so the invention of CRT humming has been developed. There's a crotch grab on that guard, too. And the thing with Mike Gaydeski is he would get... This runs a 114. He would really spend the next year pushing hard on this level for the Untied. He really wanted to get 113. And so this run may have inspired that because it was a pretty low 114. And with the next run, we're going to get into how you can sort of tell the pace. Is it an insane pace or is it not? So this run will have a grenade launcher, I'm quite sure, and a good rocket. Those guards have rockets there, and we'll kind of get into more of the technical elements of the level coming up. So he breaks full strafe to hit the GL there. The grenade launcher is what we call it. Some good self-boosts there. Probably a couple more here. And sort of this is sort of the beginning, I guess, of the way the level would really be played for the next decade. 2 quick ones. A pretty solid run. Nice job, Mike Gaydeski. Great work. And this is indeed a 1-4. And now we can actually see legibly the timer there. I want to make a note of the last visible decimal in this run. So that's like a 47 point something. 47.6 maybe. It's the last visible decimal. So that really could have been close to 113. If it was, I mean, it makes sense, right? The level starts, the timer starts at about 5 minutes, right? Just under 5 minutes. 4:59. Okay, you can't read that there. So it makes sense that if it was 3:47, that's 113 has passed. Really, really close to 113 already, and this is back in 03. So really, really great run by Mike Gudesky back then. Another really great run, and I know this one is in, now the invention of audio has come along. This one's by an Australian fellow named Greg Lewis. 6 more people would get in 2004 for a total of 30, and Greg Lewis was one of these people. And this run is actually really, really, really insane. So something you can see is that the 5-minute timer doesn't quite come up right away. It's a bit of a delay before it starts. So just keep that in mind. Oh yeah, this is right. I remember watching this video before I started the episode. It's mostly left channel audio, which is something. Well, you'll see, KFC, the delay is somewhat consistent. Breaks strafe again for the grenade launcher. Very nice. Body armor. 2 quick ones. Oh, a guard boost. Oh, man. This run could have changed history. It was really, really close to changing history. So, if we look at the last decimal before level fades out, I know that's 346.69. So, take 5 minutes, subtract 346.69, and you're left with 113.31. So where does the discrepancy come in? Well, like I said, the timer is a bit delayed in starting. So the level's on, the in-game timer is running, but the display timer doesn't start till now. 4:59.96, we can see. How much is the delay time? How much time just passes? Do you have to add to that, in this case, 113.31. Well, it depends on the original cutscene you get here. Through trial and error, around the same era, 04 or 05, Brandon Sanford especially figured that with this cutscene, there's 3 guards throughout this roadblock. You have to add 0.85 seconds to your run. So in this case, you'd have 113.31, add 0.85, and that makes it a 114.16. If it's the other cutscene, which is 1 guard in a room, that's add 0.75. So what you'll basically see is, if this run was 346.86, that would have been enough for 113. And with the other cutscene, if it was 346.76, that'd be enough for 113. So this was remarkably close. A really, really good run, a really good record. And if that was 113, it would have changed a ton of stuff. Really, a ton of stuff. But obviously, these sorts of flukes don't just happen. You know, obviously, Greg Lewis, Funky Boot. I've shown his runs in a few lures before, actually. Obviously, it wasn't meant. Who the hell is going to skip a whole second to get an untied or a really good record on Streets Agent? It's just unfathomable. Obviously, he had 115 as his PB, going for 114. Skipping to 113? Come on. Let's not be so foolish here. This is ridiculous. Great run, though. Notable run. Now, at the same time, 04, 05 is sort of the era when Brian Bossart was really, really, really taking over GoldenEye. Really taking it over. Getting tons of untieds. and sort of unseating Wouter Jansen as the champion of GoldenEye. Boss had crazy untied tears in 04. But Wouter wasn't at his last breath quite yet. Wouter Jansen in 2005 had a pretty decent year. He got a number of untied world records that really stand up to this day, honestly. Like, he got Frigate Agent 23, which is still the record. Unbelievable. He got Depot 43 and 50 on Secret and Double Agent, and those would still stand up if another innovation we're going to talk about didn't happen. Those would still be really solid, maybe the records even. And Wouter Jansen also got this run. And it's a goodie, and we're going to sort of talk about the process of Streets Agent through this run. So this is the classic. This is where the record was when I first joined the Elite. This was set in June 2005. And the slight rolling of the video is from, he's playing NTSC, the North American version, and it's on, he's recording with PAL device. So that's why there's a lot of, rolling stuff. We'll say. The bottom half is rolling. This is a very, very classic run. Yes, absolutely. I think he barely broke strafe there. Barely broke strafe. Hard to tell. Was a very nice a run, though. 4 flat at that barricade. Three quick ones. Body armor. Another 2 quick ones. Very nice. A nice boost. And in at 347.08, that's 112.92 plus the beginning timer. And that is a very, very solid 113 untied world record by Wouter Jansen. Great, classic, legendary run. And I will say that at least this run stood untied throughout 2005 and throughout 2006. It was that good of a run. And 05 and 06 is when a lot of great players, like Ace and Clemens and Luke and myself, all joined the Elite. Future top 10 players. And this run was just fantastic. So, let's just rewatch and sort of get a little bit of analysis on Streets Agent. So there's a nice boost there, and there's going to be a few places where you can or cannot get boosts on this stage, So at the beginning, you can get that boost. That's a really, really useful guard boost. And then coming up here is going to be the first sort of roadblock. So right there, he heard rocket launchers. So to the right, or rather behind Wouter, if he goes, see how the road is coming to a joint? If he goes the direction he's going, he gets one roadblock. If he goes the other direction, it's another roadblock. The guards behind him have rocket launchers. This means that the guards, the next set of guards, will have KF-7s. And you kind of want that because it's kind of the least leggy option on this level. Now, there are guards right here. This rolling guard here. You can get a boost forward here, which is nice if you get it. Wouter doesn't here. Now, this set of guards, because you heard the rocket launchers behind him, he will have KF-7 guards here, which can result in back boosts, but it's a less leggy option. He might get a forward boost from them as well here. He does. Now, here is where we knew you get the grenade launcher from, and he gets it really smoothly, just beautifully. At this wall, this joint wall here, is a really good time to sort of check your splits of the level, if you may. 11 flat is 113 pace with a 6 grenade launcher ending. 12 flat might be 112 pace, right? You can just do the math from there. But a solid 411 at this wall means you're on a potential 113 pace run. And 7 seconds later, there's going to be a barricade. That's going to be 404 flat. That's another good point to check your speed at. Now this set of guards, if you heard a rocket launcher there, they'd be a rocket launcher set. They're not. They're a KF7 set. Probably the better option on Streets Agent, certainly. Debatable on other difficulties. But you can self-boost past the KF7 guards if you have a grenade launcher and have a low leg ending. Get the body armor, finish your boosts, and run to the end. And so Streets basically became a level of look down, have really amazing strafe lines, get lucky getting the grenade launcher guard spawn. Now that guard isn't in that spot all the time, and not only that, he only has the grenade launcher about 1 in 7, 1 in 8 times. So that's 12 or 14% of the time, not always. He doesn't always have the grenade launcher. So you might have to get a bunch of runs that are really good, record pace. Hope the guy has the grenade launcher. Hope you had a good kill, an easy kill on him, and hope you can self-boost your way to glory to the end of the stage. And that is exactly what Wouter Jansen did. So, if we take a look here, Wouter had Streets 113 untied. Look at these glorious old rankings, and he was in second place at the time. Barely hanging on to second. Like I said, a lot of fresh talent was coming into the world. Dan was chasing him down, Cervone pretty quickly. A lot of wild things were happening. But Wouter was marking his place with these great untied, Streets 113, the depot times. Still at Bunker 1. He would later get Frigate 23. So Wouter, this was one of his last great untied records. Okay, so now there's a couple more kind of cool videos I'm going to show here. And these aren't directly world records, we'll say. But they're interesting. They're of note, certainly. So Dan Cervone was like, hey, what if I put on cheats and saw how many boosts I could get on Streets? What would the time be? So Cervone, this was around 05, 06 as well. This is one of the first kind of non-record videos I remember watching. He had infinite ammo and all guns. He boosted with the remote mine as many times as possible and saw what he could get. This run is really, really, really funny. Try counting. Missed one there. Full look down. I think we're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, missed. 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 boost run. 31 boost run. Guess the time, boys. Guess the time. 107. Streets Agent 107 with 31 boosts. Pretty remarkable. And that really shows how significant boosts are. Like, absolutely insane. Okay. That run was actually really, really difficult to execute because when you're doing the mine boosts, you can take off way too much health. Most of his boosts take off like 0. They're perfect. If you take off 0 health, they're perfect. And a lot of these are perfectly timed and detonated. The mines also have sort of the desire to bounce around a lot, which isn't nice. And they bounce at your feet and they do more damage. Really, a really fun, cool run. Hida, I actually remembered the run being 108. And when doing research for this episode, I found out that he had a 108 and a 107. And the 107, obviously, insane. Now we have to go to sort of vintage Rutsu vision, or in this case, boson vision for the next run. But this is cool and worth showing, I think. Oh, that CRT hum is not worth showing. You remember the level had a tank on it, right? What about that tank? Let's hop in the tank and see what time we can get. And now the tank run is really, really interesting because the strat is to shoot the cars. If you run over the cars, they cause you to slow down, almost back boosting you. But if you blow them up with good timing, you almost get like a push through them. Not quite a boost, but like a nice push. And so all of these ones are perfectly executed. And the barricades take sort of 2 flames to blow up. So you have to be really, really solid getting through those. Squeeze through that one. It's amazing. Like, this run is really, really remarkable. And it seems like you lose a ton of time going to get the tank at the start. You know, guess what time this was. Guess what he would achieve with the tank. Going over these minefield is a challenge for sure. He had the grenade launcher guard. That was kind of funny. And this would be allowed in normal mode. There's no cheats on, by the way. No cheats on. So if he got 114, it'd be the record. 113. 117. That's pretty remarkable, to be honest. Like, this isn't a run that's, say, been mega optimized. I doubt more seconds can come off. One of the guys who has the current Streets record tried this a little bit tonight and was getting like 130, 125. So 117 isn't easy. But this was done again 10 or 12 years ago. And the fact that 117 is possible to tank back then, maybe it's worth looking into. You know, maybe there's something to the tank that we could get to. Who knows? It'd be crazy if you know, untied record happened with the tank, but it's not far off. If the level was twice as long, the tank would be faster, you know? Pretty insane. Yeah, 117 is still the best time with the tank. Okay, so let's get back to the normal mode runs. And, like I said, Voters 113 was considered one of the best runs, one of the best untieds at the time. People like Ace and Clemens and Luke and myself joined the Elite by now. We came along, we were playing really well, we were getting good runs. February 07 is a time of legend. I think I've actually shown the 3 lore episodes. 3 of the 9 so far have featured an untied I got in February 07. Probably the best I ever played in my life. And I kept it up a little bit because March 2nd, 07, just after that month, just after I achieved Frigate 102 untied, Silo SA 110 untied, Caverns SA 122 untied, and Ace had been on fire as well, getting 11 untieds or something. Just at the end of February, March 2nd, 2007, I got this run on Streets Agent. And it was maybe the beginning of the end of an era for Wetter Jansen. Is this the first run we've seen that would meet the proof quality standards in this day and age? I think so. Had to make it to 07. The audio's clear. All the frames are there. Rocket launchers behind me. That means I'll have KF7s coming up. No back boost. No forward boost. Forward boost to the fire. Oh, right in the head, baby. Nice shot. Nice shot. Quite a breathy run, though. 2 quick ones. A forward. $113, with the new cheat available swag. Love it. One of my favorite runs back in the day, certainly. And people also really were into that run. People were like, "Oh my god, Goose, what a great run!" Let's take a look at the world record discussion from back then. You know, Octo 8-0. Wow, what did Wouter get? You know, he had 8-0 with. You're gonna get a wall factor. Greg Wall had 15 boosts on a run once in like 2003. So he's making a joke. Oh, you're going to get 112 with 15 boosts? Heading! OMFG! Damn, Goose, you're unstoppable. What a good guy, Silver Angel. Matt, I thought it'd be untied for a long time. Clark, I quietly felt 113 was one of those Wouter records that was not going to be matched. I think that record is entirely underrated. How long did it take you? And I said around 60 hours, about 80 114s. And that is really what it takes for a personal best, a world record on streets. You're playing 50 or 100 hours, getting hundreds, dozens of duplications of your PB, eking out second by second, frame by frame. You know, this is not a level where you can just skip a second entirely and jump to the record. No. You have to just milk out and wring out every inch, every ounce of time that can drip out of the level to get a new record. And Wouter says, Wouter's obviously a little bit bitter. I'll say nice job, it was way too predictable. Insane, Ryan, congrats. And I said, yeah, I'm a bit sorry for tying one of your few untied, Wouter, but I've always wanted this one. I hope my music choice in the vid makes up for it a bit. I believe the song I used was Keep Holding On by Avril Lavigne, and Wouter was a huge Avril fan. Unfortunately, Wouter, it didn't make up for it. Wouter was still salty. He's saying, oh, I prefer in-game sound. I guess it was the version I released wasn't an in-game sound one. Anyways, certainly quite an era, and this would knock Wouter down to 2 untieds remaining. So, poor Wouter only had Depot 50 on Double Agent and Frigate 23 left, and they would both be untied. They would both be tied by the end of the year. So what I realized this tonight, actually, 2007 is the last time Wouter Jansen, who has the most records in GoldenEye history, 07 was the last time he had ever held an untied world record, over a decade ago. And that's really put into perspective the time frame, the legacy of GoldenEye. Now, a gentleman by the name of Brian Bosshart, who was still the champion of GoldenEye at the time, would always get upset when someone would tie an untied record and it wasn't him. If me or, someone like an Ilu or a Jimbo or a Chervone tied someone else's record and Boss didn't have it, Boss would be like, well, they're not as good as me, I'm going to go play for the record. Boss would do exactly that, and Boss would pursue Streets. Agent 113. Getting it about half a year later in October 2007. Yeah, Warfy, so this is the first Boss video of this episode, but he certainly had a ton of influence on, the earlier stage of the level, right? He was one of the first guys he untied Secret Agent, was it, with Look Down. He was there for Look Down development, third person to tie 114, and third person, ironically, to tie 113. It just happens he didn't have videos of those ones, right? Wow, that was an early, wow. That was quite a grenade launcher kill, I'll say. He's on the pace for 113, very solid. No hit, a Boss ran Perfect Dark at that GDQ. Alex Anderson was the co-runner. .4691, pretty good. $113. Okay, so his opening cutscene was this one. That's at 0.75. 36.91 is 113.09 plus the 0.75, and you get a 113.84. Pretty good run. Now, obviously, you can figure out. Let's imagine for a second you had a 347.91 ending. That would be 112. But who would dream of such things? Crazy. Who would ever dream of 112s? Okay, so now we have to get talking again. I was, was I a troll? Was I a bit of a shit poster back then? Probably. I should say before we jump into this part, the usual suspects would come along, and they would tie 113 as well. By this point, the name Clemens would get it next in January 08, Ace, April 08, Ilu, May 08. So the sort of flow of these good players jumping in and tying 113 would happen naturally. And it was a pretty good record. Only tied by the top guys. Think those names I just named are heavy hitters, right? A couple of guys would get it. Glenn Stevens, Chervone. But it wasn't a time people thought was beatable. You can see how inched out this record was, right? It was inch by inch by inch to get 113. 112 was not likely. But I had motivation. I was like, let's get 112. And so on February 24, 09, I posted. The original version was Streets Agent 347.76. No grenade launcher. Very, very low. That's like a 114.09 it was. And I was like, say it to my effing face, 112's possible. And, it's funny. Funny thread. Clemens, pointless topic. A-Fan is in there saying stuff. I guess there was a world record drought at the time. Red Bulls cheering me on. So this conversation is starting to happen where 112, is it going to happen? Is the 112 going to happen? Well, let's take a look, right? Let's see the run I was just referring to. Let's give it a little watch. Let's see if it was any good. Well, is it tonight? Is it tonight? Generally speaking, on levels that are really maxed out, that are pushing the limits of the game, like a damn Agent 53 or a Runway 22 or whatever it may be. It's unlikely that you're going to actually be able to beat a level. It's insane to beat the record. All this level is strafing to the end. And the best players of 113, we're in an era as well, 07, 09, where tons of untieds are happening all the time. Every other day, Clemens race is getting untied. So there's 3 boosts. No grenade launcher. What's the wall time here? It's a solid 12. That's a full second faster. A full second faster than the 113s. Oh, wow, insane. Nice rocket boost there. Ooh, 146.76. That's a 114.09 with no grenade launcher. And that was I don't know if that was necessarily historic, but it was pretty damn cool, And so if we continue reading this thread, a lot of people I'm here saying wow, if it was the right cutscene, it could have been 113. And a lot of people talking about 112 really upset a lot of people. Here's Sterling Neblet, the original legend, 10 years later coming and saying, I believe it's possible. 114 was not good or anything, lol. Adam Dirk says, Sterling's posts are so dumb, they make me cry. He keeps coming on. I mean, look at this, right? So, it'd be nice if the top players, or anyone in general, put any real video walkthroughs up, since we're in 09. If we're to start on the levels given any random cinematics. I'm assuming no one has taken this initiative. And Dirk makes fun of him, says, Sterling's right, guys, let's take some initiative. Initiative, right? Okay, anyways, you guys can read. Yeah. I'm going to show you sort of the... what else can I say? This is just like... I would continue to try for 112 for the next really 2 to 3 years. And I would always like bump this thread, post an update, and like we keep carrying on talking. And look, we're only on page 1 of the thread. It keeps going on. You know what? It just it's I don't. What can I say? What can I say? What does Mark Rutsu say? I don't have any knowledge about the level, but why shouldn't 112 be possible with the right amount of boosts? It clearly is that 112 is human possible. Mark is, you know, a younger guy at the time, pretty new to the community, and anyways, let's just show some runs. All right. I don't know why I decided to make all these... I was a little bit over the top here. These are quotes pulled from that thread at various points. And I had to mute this video. I randomly put in Alejandro by Lady Gaga into this video. I'm not sure why. I guess I was trying to make a really hype video about getting Streets 112. This is my third 113 coming up. And we're going to give it a watch. Well, the thing is, Blue, is like... I was thinking with the fake accounts. I talked a lot about the fake accounts in the first time I did this episode, in the little pilot. And the thing is, I couldn't find any of the posts on the forum. I don't know if they've been purged or deleted or whatever. But like, I don't know. I just felt like I need to find the posts to talk about them fairly, and I couldn't do that. But needless to say, Streets 112 sort of became the meme at the time, and someone joined the rankings with this fake account named Streets 112 and would just completely troll and shitpost. Another guy named Nolan Bocom came along, and similarly, but Nolan actually turned out to just be like a clueless guy who was just kind of new and naively trolling. Back boost, look at that, that's why. I had a back boost on that run with the grenade launcher. That took off so much health. And Clemens thought that I was Nolan trolling him. I thought Clemens might have been Nolan. Clemens then made a couple accounts, Ormov Society, and Trev has RCP90. I made a couple more accounts, and it became like an alt account, complete, just shitpost fest for 2 to 3 years. You know, I actually made a post recently on our speedrun about the eras of GoldenEye. And I said 09 to 2011 are kind of like the dark ages, the medieval times. And it was really just a gong show era of just garbage posting, troll posting, and whatnot. So we had all these alts, and we're just kind of going at each other's throats. Quite a time to be alive, and every few months I'd come back with a run like this, a Streets 113, and I would contribute to the environment. Now, on this run, the reason I was like, wow, this run is so insane is because this guard... If you remember my first 113, I got through here smoothly. I got a boost from this fire. Here I got back boosted. If you remember, I talked about the cycles of explosions in the Runway Lore episode. They pulse in and out and in and out. And on my first 113, I got through the flame when it was pulsing in, and on the other side the flame was pulsing out, got a boost. But in this case, I touched the flame when it was pulsing out, I got a back boost. And it did a lot of damage. It did 3.5 bars of damage, so I couldn't use all of my grenade launchers, my grenades at the end. You say I still had a ton in the clip. Oh, I had ammo off screen, so I couldn't use them all. Oh, actually, okay, I used them all, never mind. The point is, there was a big back boost. This was a crazy run. Certainly, maybe further showed the 113 112 potential, and this was December 09. So we're still, not scratching the surface too much. And where did I post it? Let's see. I got to post it here. I tried to be really dramatic about it. Here it is. Streets Agent Part 3. And Mark says, I don't recall I've said 120 is humanly impossible. He's right. I don't know where I pulled that quote from. Yeah, well, exactly, Venom. So that run, this Streets Agent Part 3, was like a 113.8. And that back boost turning to a 4 would have been a 0.6 difference. So that would have been a low 113 now. Witten is a guy who had 113. He says it is a high decimal, but the idea is without the GL back boost, he would add the health to get 2 more boosts, which equal 112. And that's true. And a bunch of people saying, wow, it's a good run. And the discussion and the trolling carries on. And now I also got this run. Streets Agent 348.30, last visible decimal. Let's take a look at that run, shall we? This was a good one. This was a crazy one. And this is now... look, I posted this on my main channel in May 2010. This run is still up there. So now we've seen a little innovation is to shoot at the start, lure out some guard boosts. That's pretty good stuff. Really, really tight strafing. Really great strafing. Now, I mean, you guys will see the madness. KF7 set, so the next set will have a rocket launcher. See, now I get a body armor there. That's something I started going for on Streets Double Agent, and everyone's like, "What are you doing, Goose? That seems like it'll lose time." And I'm like, "Yeah, no way, dude." Nice, clean pickup. Let's boost. Let's boost, baby. 5. I'm a full second ahead of the 113s at that point. But I've used a bunch of my rocket shots, or my grenade shots. Oh, I missed the body armor. Okay. So that's what's messed up, right? I got boosted at the very end. The timer said 4 or 348.30. And that could have been 112. So if we look at the first boost I got on this level, let's look at the boost timer, right? So the first boost hits me at 36, 454.36, and the timer resurfaces at 80. Okay, at 80. So the cutscene I had was a 3-yard cutscene. So if this one was 40, 347, 86, or higher, it could have been 112. Okay? The first boost, like we said, was about 0.56 was the amount of time the timer left the screen. 0.56. So, by that logic, get to the end. Get to the 48.30. Get the boost. So let's add 0.56 to this, or, I guess subtract it. We're going to end up at what? 347.74? So like this could have been, if this boost took as much time as the first one, it unloaded the timer for the same amount of time as the first one, this run was a 113.12 or so. If the end of the level came up at any point sooner than the full extent of the boost, it was even less than that. So this run was a 348, rather a 113.1 or a 113.0. This run was pushing it extremely close. Extremely, extremely close. And I kind of give that analysis in here. I give that, I'm like, man, what up, dude? It's happening. May 2010, it's happening. People are like, wow, pretty good stuff. Spider Waffle's a legend. He always would make insane strategy ideas. And he brings up some of his strat ideas were insane. This one was pretty good, though. He says, what about using the GL boosting like Surface 1 with the kind of side boosting or on a slope? He's not completely off base. Anyways, yeah, Lovin says, what about 2 rockets? The posting goes on. Anyways, at this point, we've had a 112 TAS. Pretty wild stuff. Okay. What now? Now we're about to see a devastating run. A truly and utterly devastating. Actually, not yet. We got to get to this. Is actually kind of very important history about a show first. So, also in May 2010, Jimmy Bauer, Creeping Death, posts this, and this post would change Elite history forever. He was checking the TAS videos, and he came across this post from Datel. His post is long, but basically he discovered that you can charge full speed in the cinema by using 2.4 or 2.2. This saves time on every level, but it's super, super hard to use. From his post, it seems like it saves 6/10. It actually ends up saving about 3/10, but still. He tried it out on streets, and this would be the beginning of the new era. Mark, we have to start all over again. It's kind of true. And, okay, Sterling with a little bit of a phobic comment there. I won't repeat it. I say, okay, you have to watch, anyways, we're sort of figuring out what has to be done. A lower rank player says it's not worth it because it's going to be very hard to use. Here's the post, by the way. So he brings up this post. What a crazy... TSvideos.org is a site. And it's like this random thing posted in February 2010 that saves 1/3 of a second on every single level, pretty much. Wasn't discovered to be crossed over to the actual Elite until 3 months later. 4 months later. But what would happen is a massive... We would discuss this ad nauseum. This was not the only thread. Many threads about the induction of 2.4, 2.2 control style. Would we allow it? And we did. We did, at the end of the day. Now, obviously, playing with 2 controllers is really, really difficult. You can imagine how hard it is to play with... what? How can you possibly play with 2 controllers? The thing is this. On streets, what you can do is you can take the second controller. You can hold down left, press RL start, and let go. And now the controller's neutral position, it's in the middle, but its neutral position was set to down left. So when it's in the middle, it thinks it's going up right. So it thinks it's doing the full strafe motion on 2.2 or 2.4. This makes Streets Agent even easier to play. You plug in the second controller, you set it like that, you grab your normal 1 controller, and you play it, and now you don't even have to press the side C buttons to strafe. So Streets Agent becomes easier to play. This instantly saves 0.3 on Streets. It was quickly brought up that this would maybe save time on Depot. We had a lot of years of discussion for Depot 25. Is Depot 25 possible? Is the roller door warp possible? Some of you will know if that was or was not possible. After the 2.x came out, I bumped the thread and I said, look, use 2.4, get the 0.3 extra save at the start of the level, maybe get a boost, that's 0.6 saved. Maybe, my friends, Depot 25 is possible. Within the month, we would see records fall left and right. We would see the Depot records fall. We would see Depot Agent, Secret Agent, and 00 all get untied. We'd see Surface 2, Secret Agent, and Agent get untied. But it wasn't enough for Streets. It wasn't enough for Streets. 112 was still a pipe dream, unfortunately. And we had to come to grips with the possibility that maybe it was never meant to happen, even with these innovations. Here's a run from June 2010 I got. Another no grenade launcher 113. As far as I know, I saw Carl say that Clemens had a 113 no grenade launcher as his original record. I don't believe that to be true. I believe this to be the first 113 with no grenade launcher, as far as I know. But we have to do back checking, I guess, later on. This was done in June 1st, 2010, right after it was made the decision that we would accept runs with 2 control styles. I mean, the idea was basically some people countered the 2.x, 2.2, 2.4 control styles. They would say, well, what if a second person's playing? We can never know. And I said, well, if you had one controller, maybe someone's pressing B for you. Maybe someone's pressing the strafe for you. Even with one controller, you don't know that, right? So what difference does it make? And it was sort of accepted that because of how difficult it would be to play with 2 controllers, that we should just allow the records anyways. They were in the game naturally. The control styles were in the game. Let's allow them. And so we did. And this is one of the first runs I got on straights, notable runs, with 2.2 control style. 46.93. With the one guard cinema, it ended up being a 113.82. No grenade launcher. 6 more boosts with the GL. We're pushing it tight. We're really, really pushing it tight. This one is an absolute masterpiece. Okay, so Carl's clarified. He said that what I said was correct for sure. Absolutely. Thanks for fact-checking that stuff. Okay, so Clemens had a no GL 113 a few days after mine that I just showed. Same era. This run is also from June 2010. This run, to this day, is maybe the most perfectly strafed streets run in history. Remember, Wouter's first 113 had 8 boosts. My 113 had 8 boosts. Greg Lewis's low 114 had like 10 or 11 boosts. Count the boosts on this run. There's one. This run is just unreplicable. This run has the most perfect lines of any run in history. I missed the rocket shot there. I could have got another rocket shot. Another boost. This was 4 total boosts. A 4-0 ratio. 113. Unbelievable, dude. And again, that one was good enough for me to upload on my main channel back in 2010. Ridiculous. And now this is the run to end all Streets Agent speedruns. The run I just showed was in June 2010. Some of you will know if you've seen my personal record history, or the SpeedLore episode, for example, as well. I kind of stopped playing. 2010-11. I got no records in 2011. I only got 3 world records in 2010. One of them was Caverns 102, and that was almost immediately after the 2.2 was allowed. That saves about half a second on Caverns Agent. So I got 102 quickly. I got a couple other records, nothing too good. Didn't really play in 2011. You'll see why in a couple minutes, actually. Early 2012, March, I got this run. And this run at least inspired one other person to do something crazy on this level. So remember that cutscene I had is the add 0.85 cutscene. Or so. Here's the rockets. Body armor. A back boost. A forward boost. Grenade. Grenade launcher. Oh my god, this ending doesn't make any sense. This is, to this day, the best ending in the history of Streets. Probably if we looked at the splits, this would be the fastest ending in history. That's not a joke. Look, I have no idea how I did what I did in this run. Rocket boost, grenade boost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quick ones, switch to rocket, 6 quick ones, and 47.86 ending. That's 112.14 plus 0.85 is 112.99, rounded up to 113.00. That's what that run was. Make a mental note of this, okay? Right here. Let's make a note of this for later. Someone say this time. 404.55 from this point to a 37.86 ending. Rocket. Grenade. PP7. Kill the guy for a rocket. Body armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch 6. $47.86. This was 112.99, rounded up to 113. Well, the thing is, obviously I was a little bit pissed. Like, obviously. Who couldn't be? But at the same time, no one was really going for 112. And it was one of those, think of how much has been built up to 112 maybe or maybe not being possible. It's like, this is now, we're in 2012 now. This is 15 years of pushing for every ounce of time. And, yeah, if I didn't get that back boost, it would have been 112. So I don't really think I had much competition. At the same time, you'll see in a minute, I wasn't very active in the game, or on the forums, or in the community. I had kind of taken a leave of absence. And so I didn't really... I only was playing at night in my room upstairs, the room where I started streaming, actually. I might play 1 or 2 hours at night in between studying for school or whatever I was doing at the time, right? And that was it. I was not telling anyone that I was playing. I was kind of doing it quietly, secretly. I mean, even though I uploaded this video to my main in March 2012, it only has 230 views, right? It's a very quiet, very silent video. So I wasn't expecting anyone to get 2012 or 112 rather. I mean, but I knew it was possible. And summer 2012 was certainly chaotic for me. I was very much away from the game, not playing at all, and someone, the ultimate villain of GoldenEye 007, got this speedrun. Yes, on August 15, 2012. Nice boost. This is what did it for him. He got the grenade launcher later. And this brings up the whole kind of idea of how do guards spawn on streets. 47.96 or so. That's 112 all the way. there we have it, boys. Mark Rutsu tied Streets Agent 112, or untied it. Now, he actually demolished a very, very highly tied record. It was like in the 20s, 30s. About 30 people had 113 as a record. Maybe 20. Guys like who I mentioned, all these guys before. You know, Wouter, me, Boss, Clemens, Ace, Ilu, Glenn Stevens, Chervone, David Witten, Randy Bukima, A-Fan, Rutsu, Takahiro Arai, Jimmy Bauer, Ryan Cook, Eddie Lovins, Cliff Hampton, Greg Wall, Axel Z, Guillermo Alberto, Adam Bozon, and Jimbo Barrett all lost a world record that day. And there are some names that might come to mind that I didn't read. Guys who didn't have 113. Who never had 113 as a world record. But those were the guys who had 113. Oh, it is legendary. Okay, now we're going to get into some kind of interesting stuff. I was kind of not sure if I wanted to show this. But I feel like I have to. So, August 2012 is right when I came back to the game. You know, Siglemic, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, Siglemic was streaming those 120-star attempts. And they got me back. They're like, I was at a crossroads, you'll see. They got me back into the community, into the game. So, on August 14, here's 50 Cent saying, wow, hopefully that was the last 113. Congrats, Jimbo. Way to go. 113. Well, it was the last 113. Mark Rutsu got the 112. Epic. Can't wait to see the vid. Epic. Finally. Congrats on taking down the 113 on the rankings, Ace says. Mark told me it was 8 boosts, low leg, perfect strafing. I say 100% fake. Mark is just trying to get me to play GoldenEye again. I didn't know I would. The thread gets a little bit worse, boys. Best strafing ever. Well, was it? I don't, maybe my 40113 was better. Here we go. I haven't felt this shitty since I called my ex-girlfriend naked with another guy. Feel completely betrayed, cheated, and like I'm not good enough once again. I think I was just trying to steal Mark's moment of glory, really. I was trying to derail the topic, as I was very good at doing in the past for my many years of shitposting. But this was all true, and it was kind of the first time when I revealed where I had been the past 2 years to the forums. Forever cucked, boys. Forever. Feels bad, man. Pour one out. Forever cucked. But it happens to us all. Mark has a very, very nice comment, though. Mark says, 112 wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you, Goose. You had a sick, disgusting 112.99 rounded up. You're still the most epic Streets player ever. Lolled hard at IRL at GF Story. I suppose that was a joke. What a nice word from Mark. Not a joke. You don't know pain until the only girl you've ever loved. Blah, 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 blah. And, you can read this fucking bullshit that I spew here on the forums. I talk about these being the hardships that I went through in the past year ever since I left the Elite. This is real life. I wish I could have dedicated 12 hours to Streets 112 until I got it, but I couldn't. I was dealing with stupid, cheating girls and lying people, and people who are evil, and just want to stab the back of every mortal person out there for their own personal agendas. Looking back, it's obviously good you can laugh about this shit. I was surprised how significant the thread got derailed. Alex showing some sympathy. Anyways. Mark, look at this, Mark. I can only say I wish it was you too. It would have been epic. I was simply starting to feel like 113 was staying in the ranks a little bit too long, and ultimately decided to go for 112. You would have got it if you played, no doubt about it, but life is much more important than just a game. And, anyways, finally I simmer out a bit, and I say, well done, it was an okay run. As time went on, I figured that grenade launcher spot was more ideal. So he got the later grenade launcher spot, of course, and one of my low 113s had it. 111 is not unrealistic. You just need 12 to 13 boosts. I'd like to see a 112 with no GL. Now, no, here's the red pill, Frost Hops. A 50 Cent is saying the realest talk I've ever seen around here. Anyways, people, whatever. I'll link this thread in the YouTube description. Carl, here we go. This is the ultimate red pill. This is the takeaway, boys. This is the thing to learn about this. All this talk about relationships are pretty epic. You're talking as if a relationship ending for you is this terrible, unfortunate event that no one will understand. Guess what? It's a part of life and happens to almost everyone. I can appreciate how much it hurts to get owned by someone you love. However, moving forward, I suggest you realize that you're not special and you don't deserve any sympathy because this happened. It happens to almost everyone who invests in relationships. It's part of life, not a bad thing. In fact, it's often the best thing because you only grow and learn through getting hurt. The girls that you believe hurt you aren't bad people. They're just trying to do what they think will make them happy. If you take responsibility and realize the decisions you made led you to this point, you'll be able to learn great lessons from this and create a much happier life for yourself. In closing, huge congrats, Mark. 112 is epic. I really didn't think it'd be done anytime soon. Okay. Obviously, as time goes on, we learn that Carl is correct. Great advice as always. Carl has the best advice in relationships. If you ever need any, ask him when he's streaming. Now, I do kind of feel bad for derailing the 112 thread. At the same time, I had been kind of gone from the Elite for 2 years, and it was sort of the pivotal moment that influenced me into coming back into GoldenEye, streaming, and kind of getting to where I am now, which is kind of insane. And even further than that, this is still in the Elite rankings today. Mark Rutsu writes in his comment, this time wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Ryan White. And so, even though I wasn't the first to get 112, people respected what I did on the stage. And that means a lot. That means a lot. Well, John Paul, I especially from like 09 to 2012, I was the best at derailing threads on forums across the internet. I was the king. They don't call me the man who trolled and lost everything for no reason, okay? Boys. It's story time. And I mean, what else can I say? It's story time, okay? And for this story, I think we have to maybe get a little bit of a cozy vibe going on, okay? So, we all know what happened after Mark got 112. I mean, maybe not we all, but some interesting things happened. I started streaming, okay? And Mark Russo had achieved this amazing record. This 112, he finally nailed it under the greatest of circumstances. And we thought it would remain untied forever. As good as people thought Wouter's 113 was, people knew Mark's 112 was even that much better. I returned to the game, I started streaming, so did he. It was actually really cool. Mark and I got along really, really well back then. We would race 100% races on SRL, which was really awesome. We were both getting like 100 viewers doing so, and that was huge. If you remember SRL back then, very few speedrunners broke 100 viewers, and so it seemed like we were both on the fast track to becoming these significant streamers in the speedrun community. It was really awesome. And obviously, I would have liked to go for 112 at some point, but I wanted to build my stream. I wanted to do 100% runs. In early 23, I was doing a Bunker 1 00 attempts. And, so I was a bit distracted with going for 112. Mark kind of stopped streaming, kind of decayed away. He wouldn't really stream much after a few months that they started. So he kind of threw away a good opportunity, I think. It's when he kind of started to find the truth contest and go a little bit haywire for a little bit, Not the, what can you say, right? It is what it is. Eventually, I would get, in the hundreds of viewers consistently playing Bunker 100. I would move my stream setup from upstairs to the room I had just moved from, the room you had seen me stream from for 4 years. If you remember watching my streams in 2012, early 2013, I was like, I couldn't say anything because I was right beside where other people were sleeping. So I would sometimes whisper what was happening. I'd whisper like, wow, Boris didn't run right. It was really surreal to watch. Kind of unbelievable if you know my streams now, how much I talk and get excited and all that kind of stuff. I moved down here. I played Perfect Dark that summer, had my Perfect Dark, Perfect Agent playthrough. I continued building my stream. I actually learned Ocarina of Time 90% speedrun in the fall that year. And then I submitted for AGDQ. And GoldenEye got into AGDQ. Me and Alex Anderson were going to do a co-op run at AGDQ 2014. I was playing Archive Secret Agent in November, December, going for 54 seconds. A lot of great guys were you know, I remember one night, believe it or not, The Destiny, Stephen Bonnell tweeted out my stream, saying, "Wow, GoldenEye speedruns." And I got 700 or 900 viewers that night playing Archives, got the 54s, and I was just really set into building my stream and getting partner, which I did, and getting prepared for the AGDQ run. And I know, Toozer, isn't it insane? Isn't it absolutely insane? So the community was in a really, really good spot. We were really, really cozy, really happy. I got partner. We're going to GDQ. We're going to show the world GoldenEye. It's going to be amazing. It was the last kind of AGDQ where it was the last comfy one, Lockwood was going to be there. Alex was going to be there. Boss was going to be there. Unbelievable. What a time. And, these great memories from late 2013, November, December. So it was Christmas Day 2013. And we were all hanging out in Jimbo's chat room. Jim Barrett was going for Silo Agent 103. And we were all super cozy and happy. The community was great. I remember vividly. I remember specifically, I was in bed on my laptop, cozy as can be. I remember just being so warm and just watching Jimbo. It was amazing. Now, I don't remember I don't know if you remember this, but on Christmas Day, we call it Boxing Day the 26th. It was just after midnight Christmas. It was December 26th, Boxing Day. There was a really, really severe storm that hit much of North America. I don't know if you recall this. It wasn't a storm of ice or snow or hail or sleet or wind or whatever other ferocious thing Mother Nature might throw at you. But it was a storm of typing. Ryan Lockwood bust into Jimbo's chat room, frantically smashing away that he had just achieved Streets Agent 112. He had skipped 113. He was just going for 113 from 114. He had skipped it to 112. And it was the way he was typing this storm. We knew it was true. He wouldn't be lying about that. The way he delivered what he was saying. I got Streets. I just skipped 130. I can't believe it. But it was so unbelievable. How can you actually believe this happened? You wanted to believe it, but you couldn't. Not because of his character, not because of a delivery, because it was an unbelievable feat. It should have been something that was impossible. So we said, Ryan Lockwood, start your stream right now. Show us. And the small group of people that were in Jimbo's channel that night, watching Jimbo play Silo 103, jumped to Lockwood's stream, and we bore witness to what was perhaps the most incredible thing anyone in the entire world had ever bore witness to that time of year, since the three wise men witnessed the birth of Jesus Christ himself. This, my friends, this is what we witnessed that night.
An MRRL time. Me and Mark Rutsu. Me and fucking Mark Rutsu. That's fucking right. I skipped 113. I'm a fucking legend. I've never seen a 113 and I never fucking will. 112, baby, to the day I fucking die. Yes! About time I get a fucking lucky break in this fucking game, motherfuckers, and I clutch the goddamn grenade launcher. That's fucking right! Yeah, it's this one. Right here, it's this one! My insane pace. Right here, this is the 112. Right here, yes! This is fucking it. I'm gonna have to find the actual whole vid off of it, and I'm gonna have to get it. Dude, what a rush! What a rush! Watch this. Watch when I get the grenade launcher. Look at that. See how fast my pace is? Right in the fucking head! Yeah! Got a fucking 112, baby! That's right! You see that clutchness? I am fucking clutch! Look at this fucking line I take. I'm like, yeah, baby! Let's fucking do this! I wait. Right when he starts firing, to try to back boost me, the double. Body armor. 2 quick ones. I already know I'm getting there on the perfect line. Look at the fucking pace! 50, 49, 47, baby! That's fucking right! That's fucking it! Fucking pumped watching this one again. I waited the cinema too because I said, oh my god, it might be 112. And it fucking is! It fucking is, baby! Yeah! Look at me typing, you guys. You guys didn't believe me. I'm typing a storm. Dude, I fucking just got Streets 112. It's not fucking coming on. Yes! I fucking did it! That's right! I skipped 113. I'm a legend. I am a fucking legend. I'm a fucking legend. Yes! I am a fucking legend.
This would go down in history. I mean, it's still considered maybe the most amazing speedrun of all time. With all the context and the intensity and the hype. Now, if I'm being fully honest, this isn't exactly what we saw that night. This is exactly what we saw that night. This is the full clip of what we witnessed when we saw Lockwood stream. Obviously didn't come out produced like that with the Sunshine OST and all. This is exactly the raw highlight from Lockwood's stream that night, December 26, 2013. I'm going to play it and go off for 2 minutes. We're going to watch about 5 or 6 minutes of this. It can be a little bit loud, obviously. Your headphones have been warned. Take a look.
Dude, I fucking just got Streets 112 and it's not fucking coming on. Streets 112. Yes! I fucking did it! That's right! I skipped 113. I'm a legend. I am a fucking legend. I'm a fucking legend. Hold on. How do I do this? Yes!
This is funny, by the way.
An MRRL time. Me and Mark Rutsu. Me and fucking Mark Rutsu. That's fucking right. I skipped 113. I'm a fucking legend. I've never seen a 113 and I never fucking will. 112, baby. To the day I fucking die. Yes! About time I get a fucking lucky break in this fucking game. Motherfuckers. And I clutch the goddamn grenade launcher. That's fucking right. Right here. Wait, it's not this one. Fuck, I rewinded too much. Maybe it's this one. Hold on. Yeah, this is a long ass session, so it might be this one. Fuck, I'm just gonna have to like slowly rewind. It's this session. Sorry. It's gotta be this one. Yeah, it's this one. Right here, it's this one! My insane pace. Right here, this is the 112. Right here, yes! It's fucking it. I'm gonna have to find the actual whole vid off of it, and I'm gonna have to get it. Dude, what a rush! What a rush! Watch this. Watch when I get the grenade launcher. Sorry. Look at that. See how fast my pace is? Right in the fucking head! Yeah! Got a fucking 112, baby! That's right! You see that clutchness? I am fucking clutch! Look at this fucking line I take. I'm like, yeah, baby! Let's fucking do this! I wait. Right when he starts firing, to try to back boost me, the double. Body armor. 2 quick ones. I already know I'm getting there on the perfect line. Look at the fucking pace! 50, 49, 47, baby! That's fucking right! That's fucking it! Fucking pumped watching this one again. I waited the cinema too because I said, oh my god, it might be 112. And it fucking is! It fucking is, baby! Yeah! Look at me typing to you guys. You guys didn't believe me. I'm typing a storm.
You guys could hear that, right? You could hear him typing. You could hear him typing the storm, and also, he played this video when he showed it to us in this quarter size of the screen. I can't make it big. This is the YouTube player of what Lockwood showed us.
I'm a fucking legend. Everybody can just take a fucking look at it. That's right. That's fucking right. Yeah, I skipped on 12. Fuck you. You didn't believe me. He's trolling. And I skipped fucking 113 and I fucking did it. I'm fucking so pumped. You have no idea. This is the most pumped I've ever been. When I saw 112 come up, I said, no fucking way. No fucking way, dude. My run was insane. I'm about to go post this motherfucker.
the raw highlight carries on for another 6 minutes or so. I'll have it in the description, of course, as well. But that's pretty much the good parts of it. Really unbelievable. Lockwood would have been maybe 21, I think 21 or 22 at the time. And no. So that's what we saw at first, right? Now, obviously, over the course of the next few days, Derek Clark, the founder of the Elite, he's always kind of been sort of in and out in terms of activity in the site, but he was around for Streets 112, and he was like, man, this has a lot of viral potential. You know, this could be huge. We should try to do something with this. And so Flickr Forum put together sort of this condensed version.
This one. Right here, it's this one. My insane pace.
So this is the version that you guys will know if you guys have come to love and know. So Flickr put that together, and then I suggested to add the Sunshine Canada Dies Part 2, or whatever it is, music. Adagio in D minor, is it? And I transcribed what was in Flickr's video 130, and then Trent Huvis put it all together and uploaded it. And that's how we have the version we have now. After all that, let's watch it once more for posterity, boys. Let's give it one more watch.
An MRRL time. Me and Mark Rutsu. Me and fucking Mark Rutsu. That's fucking right. I skipped 113. I am a fucking legend. I've never seen a 113, and I never fucking will. 112, baby. To the day I fucking die. Yes! About time I get a fucking lucky break in this fucking game, motherfuckers, and I clutch the goddamn grenade launcher. That's fucking right! Yeah, it's this one. Right here, it's this one. My insane pace. Right here, this is the 112. Right here, yes! This is fucking it. I'm gonna have to find the actual whole vid off of it, and I'm gonna have to get it. Dude, what a rush! What a rush! Watch this. Watch when I get the grenade launcher. Look at that. See how fast my pace is? Right in the fucking head! Yeah! Got a fucking 112, baby! That's right! You see that clutchness? I am fucking clutch! Look at this fucking line I take. I'm like, yeah, baby, let's fucking do this. I wait. Right when he starts firing, to try to back boost me, the double. Body armor. 2 quick ones. I already know I'm getting there on the perfect line. Look at the fucking pace. 50, 49, 47, baby! That's fucking right. That's fucking it. Fucking pumped watching this one again. I waited to cinema too because I said, oh my god, it might be 112. And it fucking is! It fucking is, baby! Yeah! Look at me typing, you guys. You guys didn't believe me. I'm typing a storm. Dude, I fucking just got Streets 112. It's not fucking coming on. Yes! I fucking did it! That's right! I skipped 113. I'm a legend. I am a fucking legend. I'm a fucking legend. Yeah. I am a fucking legend.
A Cotton, no. A Trent is the one who put the music together. It just, if it starts, the song starts where it does, the video starts where it does, and the headshot timing is just perfect. Yeah, I mean, look at this. 895,000 views. There are speedrun videos with more views, but I know how many people find this so legendary. Some of the biggest streamers on Twitch would go on to just love this video. Guys like Wreckful and Mitch and Force and all these guys just absolutely love this video, and it's incredible to see the reach this has had. I mean, PewDiePie had it in a video earlier this year. Just absolutely insane. Now, some of you, I always get questions, what did he mean by an MRRL time? Well, if we look at the GoldenEye rankings at the time, at Streets, on Agent, Mark Rutsu, Ryan, Lockwood. MRRL time. Me and Mark Rutsu. That is what he meant. Unbelievable. Okay. So, what now? What now? We went to AGQ, Lockwood and I, and Alex and Boss, and we had fantastic runs there. Lockwood was a star at the event. And at the event, Lockwood's like, honestly, I'm really, really glad that I got this time. I'm really glad I got this time before coming to GDQ, because now people know who I am. I'm not some kind of like loser, you know? Some bum hanging out with Goose and Alex and these guys. People knew who Lockwood was, and that was only like a week later. And he was really, really pumped about that. Lockwood was super thrilled, obviously. And we had a really good time. And that was really the last cozy AGDQ. It was SGDQ 2014 was kind of the first bigger one. You know, we know what happened there. Chibi, Caveman, Sam, Tolkien, Stivity, Bobo, Giant Waffle, all these sorts of real, I guess, problems, you'll say. AGDQ 2014 was the last great one. It was Super Metroid Race was amazing. You know, we had fantastic runs, and we loved every minute of it. It was unbelievable. The video came out on January 2nd of that year. So a few days later was GDQ. We all went, and there you go. Anyways, you know, the cool thing with the GDQ run was, like, me and Alex had an amazing 2.x run, speed run. It was really great. And Boss had an amazing Perfect Dark, Perfect Agent run. And then we played a multiplayer match. And Lockwood won the multiplayer match. So all four of us there, all four eliters who attended the event, had kind of our moments on stream, which is really cool. And people were memeing with Lockwood. I remember this one meme I tried to find for stream, maybe lost to the annals of 4chan now, from an old SRG post. Lockwood was on the couch for a Mario Kart run, and so someone screenshotted it when the Mario Kart time was at 1:13 and posted, now Lockwood's seen a 1:13, right? And it was just really, you know, just hilarious stuff. Like, you never imagine that's what's going to happen to you in your community, and it did. And I hope that the first, you can see what happened in the early days of Streets Agent in this episode, and you can see just why that 112 meant so much, and why it was, like, he didn't overreact. That was the appropriate reaction for Streets 112 skipping 113, tying Mark Rutsu's time. Unbelievable. And nothing that ever happens is going to take that away. It was the best. Okay, so after AGDQ, you know, this is the time when AGDQ still had a lot of influence on, like, getting followers, getting viewers on Twitch and stuff, right? So I went and had a really good run. Alex and Boss weren't so keen on growing their streams, but I certainly was. I just got a partner as well. So I came back from AGDQ 2014. I'm like, what should I stream? Well, obviously I should stream Streets Agent. Like, is there anything else to stream? I'm going to buy into the hype. I'm going to stream Streets Agent. I'm going to go for 112, the time that Mark Rutsu himself knows that I should have. And so I did. And I played, you know, for a couple nights of Streets Agent. I think when I came back first, I did some, like, Agent speedruns, just kind of, you know, keep the hype, and then went into the Streets Agent grind. And the third or fourth night of playing for Streets Agent was a very remarkable night. Some of you might know or remember that it was the night of the Grammy Awards in 2014. And not only was it the Grammy Awards, it was when award shows were still good, but my favorite, Taylor Swift, performed at these Grammy Awards. And not only did she performed All Too Well, which is, most people say it's her absolute best song. It's certainly my top one or two. It's just a magical song. It's about a relationship and bits and pieces of it that you remember all too well. And it wasn't a single from her album Red. You know, she released the album in late 2012, ironically, as around the same time Mark got 112, and around the same time when I was going through that we discussed before. And so the album obviously really spoke to me in a deep manner, because these things Taylor Swift was going through, I felt like I was going through as well. I felt really connected to it. And she releases them late in the year, so they travel the whole year, and then the following year, 1.5 years later, it gets nominated for Grammys. That's how she always does it, because she's a mastermind. And so the album was at the tail end of its cycle, and she performed this song that was never a single. She performed it just for her fans, her best song that everyone knows and loves. And obviously, oh yeah, that's true too, is they slow rolled her, and you'll see it in the video I'm about to show. They announced Album of the Year. Her album was called Red, and they announced it like, the Album of the Year goes to Random Access Memories, Daft Punk's album, won Album of the Year that year. They really slow rolled her. She thought she won for a nano frame, and she didn't. It was unfortunate. She was nominated for 4 awards, won none that night. I checked the list before stream, by the way. But I was so inspired by the 5.5-minute performance of All Too Well by Taylor Swift that night after midnight, January 27th, 2014. I got this speedrun. Runs per hour. No, it can't be. 60 makes sense. Yeah, dude. Okay. That GIF you just linked, they fucking slow rolled her, because her album's called Red. And they were like, and the Grammy goes to Red, Demaxis Memories. And like, I thought she won at first. And she did too, clearly. It was a big troll. Plus, it's a shit album, and everyone who likes Daft Punk hates it. They're like, fucking pop sellout album. But whatever. The Grammys often give best, like, the big awards to people who've been around a long time. It's the same sweater. I wore it specifically because. Come on! Yes! 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 Fucking 112, baby! To the day I fucking die! Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Oh my fucking god! I don't fucking believe it! One fucking... Oh my fucking god. Street. Oh my god. I knew that was the fucking run. I'm like, this is fucking fast enough. I got the fucking rocket boost. I'm like, this is it. If this is a fucking grenade launcher, I got it. And he was fucking there. I fucking headshot that motherfucker right in the fucking head. 3 clutch, fucking the triple body armor. Then I waited. The last 2 fucking boosts, I fucking waited. Because I learned from all this experience that you don't get it if you do those last boosts after the body armor too early. I fucking did 1, got the line, waited, then the double to end it. I fucking got that 112. Me, Mark, Rutsu, and Ryan fucking Lockwood. 1 fucking 12, baby. Holy fuck. What a fucking rush. What a rush. What a fucking rush. There's no other way to say it. That's just a pure fucking rush. It's true. That's a pure rush. And I mean, yeah, Toozer saying he's in there I recognize a lot of great names that we've come to miss. Great. What a time. I remember, that night I was hosted by a few people, or rated, I guess, back in the day. Our pal Jeff, I remember, good guy, rated me that night before, moments before the run. I had, I think 900 viewers for 112. Absolutely insane. And the world was in harmony. It really was. That's how the story should have ended. Mark, the villain, with the incredible Untied. Lockwood's legendary moment. And then finally I get redemption after all these years. But it didn't end there. Stories very rarely end the way they should. The story remained that way throughout the rest of 2014. But it didn't remain that way forever, unfortunately. And we're gonna show you what happened next. It would have been perfect. It would have been too perfect. But life isn't about being perfect. So, on Streets, this is a post from Henrik, the TASer, in July 2013. It's how far back we're going now. To pull us ahead into the future. Slingshot back and forth. A post about spawning guards. Obviously full of a lot of technical information. I can't digest it all on stream. What I can say is this. There are basically 2 spawning guards on Streets. This one in the blue circle is on your way to Valentin. This one in the red is another spawning guard. Now, theoretically, if they're both kept alive, neither will respawn. Here's the trick. This blue guard is the guard who runs towards you at the beginning of the level. Let's see if I can really quickly tab back here and we can take a look at this guard, right? So early on the level, you're going to see a guard up here. That guard, right there. You see his feet. Perfect, right? That guard is this blue guard. He runs towards you at the beginning of the level. Now, if you kill him, he'll respawn later on. Or, if you get too far away from either the blue guard or the red guard, they will sort of disappear and respawn. That was known in 2013. Not much was known beyond that. Icy. And I see Cotton in chat today. So apparently when I was going for 112, early 2014, Cotton was talking about how killing that running guard gives you a better positioned spawn guard. And now Cotton, I apologize, from way back then, he was mentioning this to me in my chat, and I wasn't listening. I was high on life, just coming back from GDQ, 1,000 viewers, Taylor Swift, Grammy performances. I'm not going to listen to some random guy in my chat talk about some strat idea. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people have passed through and came up with strat ideas that never work. What are the odds? But Cotton was really persistent, and months later, he would bring us up in someone else's chat, I think Randy or someone else. And oh wow, look at that Cotton there. I mean, what I should say, I guess, is I listened, but I didn't care to investigate that thoroughly because I want to get 112 the old-fashioned way, and you know how it is. It's it takes a long time to process these ideas and strategies. Basically, Icy's saying, this. If you kill the blue guard who runs at you, kill the blue guard, and you unspawn the red guard by being far away from him, and that's consistent across most GoldenEye levels. If you're too far away from the guards, they will despawn. Usually the levels have a set guards who are always in the same spots, and then spawning guards. And spawning guards kind of work the same in each level. If you kill them, they respawn. If you go too far out of their bounds, they respawn as well, closer to you. So Icy figured out, hey man, 2 grenade launchers is possible. Could we get it without losing time? Cotton made his one and only post on the Elite forums in March 2015. And basically, if you kill the first spawning guard, a grenade launcher possible spawn, will spawn earlier to you and you could still get the late grenade launcher. This is possible. And look at the dates on these. Like, it's literally a year and 2 years of 3 heavily informative posts. And people who never gave up on what they thought might be possible. It turned out to be possible. And so, not too long after that, it was discovered that, hey, you can actually get 2 grenade launchers in this game, in this level. That's going to save 6 more boosts. Luke Sklar's got this run in July 2015. There's the early GL. The second GL. $5.4. Street Agent 112, yes, a wide turn before the last barricade, a stuck on the truck. And this time was actually hoarded for several months. Some of you will know recently about the Kapap videos. This was the first year where Luke, Mirror Mage, and Jono made the Kapap video. So they hoarded a bunch of really strong times. And they would only post these months later. And we saw this run probably not till August or so. So a month after it was achieved, we saw it. Pretty wild, remarkable stuff. Luke became the 4th person to tie 112 after me, Ryan Lockwood, and Mark Rutsu. And this obviously would blow things wide open. About 4 or 5 people got 112 that year. Randy Bukima, Ogran, Aaron Morgan, Callie. So 112 was becoming more and more common, and the luster, I mean, at least among the community members who knew the game, was wearing off. Now, I forget what video I talked about this in, but in January 23rd, 2016, was a date where no GoldenEye record had ever been achieved before. And Jimbo actually brought this up at AGDQ 2015. So we figured on January 23rd, 2015, we'll all stream, we'll try to get a world record, break this curse. We called the thing G-Day. And in 2015, no one got the world record, which was unbelievable. And we tried again in 2016, and this man, you know, the 112's out there, it's pretty free now. This man, Jez Savage, would play for Streets Agent 112, and he would get this run. Now, the interesting thing is, Jez won about $100 by getting this record this day. G-Day, tons of streams. Like, it was like 20 or 30 people streaming GoldenEye going for a world record. So, we would put these bounties. Oh, like $100 to the best record, $100 to the first person on a record. And he would win $100 this day or more. Mostly, from me and Jimbo. And the thing is, we didn't want to pay him right away because we didn't know him. He was very new. Jez Savage sounds like a fake name. We're like, I don't want to like send $100 to some random dude. But Luke would later meet Jez in person, and that would kind of give... And Luke was like, guys, come on, Jez is a good guy. And that would give us the push to send him the money. which he probably spent on things that a 17-year-old Australian bogan kid spends his money on. But anyways, he earned $100, he got it, and he got this 112, was the best world record of G-Day 2016. The first, not the first person, actually, Quexall got Surface 247, and Greenunet got Cradle 34. So there were some other records, but finally the curse had been lifted, and every single calendar day had a world record on it. 20 years after the game was released. Now, something I should have mentioned about Mark's 112 as well was Mark also won $100 by hitting 112. The only reason Mark went for it was because Alex Anderson put a $100 bounty on 112. I shouldn't say the only reason. Mark said in the forum post that he was kind of growing tired of all the 113s piling up. But a large part of the reason Mark went for the 112 and betrayed me, or so I felt, was because Alex put a $100 bounty on it. So here's two 112s that both happened because of $100 bounties to we won and lost. Lockwood probably made nothing off of his 112. Well, maybe over time with donations and stuff he did, and I probably did as well that night. So there you go. Streets 112, a very lucrative time for many GoldenEye runners. Now the thing is, we're into January 2016, and it's like, well, with two grenade launchers, how viable is 111, right? Like, it should totally be viable. Now, we're going to watch this run by Austin Peru, also in January 2016. He would also get 112. Pay attention to the health of this run, because what obviously happens now is that living two grenade launchers becomes pretty challenging. You're doing 12 self-boost to the ground. Between your initial 8 bars of health and 2 body armors, that's 24 bars of health. So 12 grenade launcher shots usually take 2 hits, 2 bars. See, there's 2 bars. So getting all 12 grenade shots in is challenging, especially if there's going to be extra KF7 boosts. Oh, nice boost. The second GL. This is a really nice run. .2 thing. They're not too fantastic. So he's down to no health. He has 5 GL shots left. Couldn't see the ending timer. And like he barely, he certainly doesn't get all these in, no way. He has 1 left on the table. So 1 extra boost could help towards 111, but he has no health left. So how can he possibly use that extra boost, right? Anyways, this was a 112. Good run by Austin. Austin and a bunch of others were pursuing for 111 at this point. And a pile of people had 112 by now. You know, early in 2016, Austin, Ilu, Oscar P, Daniel Dickens, Wotus, Justin DT, Carl, Clemens, all these guys would additionally get 112. And the race for 111 was on, and no one got it until after I made this video. You guys know this. One of my most viewed videos, actually, Streets 111 Confirmed Possible. I just, like, did a run with cheats on, double grenade launcher cheat, killed the 2 guards you have to kill, 3 guards, simulating what if they had grenade launchers and boost them away, got a 112 cheats on. And maybe people kind of mentally needed this to demonstrate that 111 actually 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, was possible. And I put this up in February 2016, and it wasn't long after that. It didn't last too long after that. A lot of people were racing. A ton were racing for the 111. It was maybe one of the most heavily combated untied races in ages. Like, there was, I mean, Ogran here says Austin, Ilu, Ogran, Jez, Carl, were all going for 111, and no one got it until the absolute mastermind, the speedrun scientist. If you've watched Carl play Damn Agent or Perfect Dark, you know how good he is at envisioning what needs to be done for an Untied. Carl would be the one to put it to rest. Watch what he does very carefully. Kills the guard. Perfect. He's going to set up for the spawn guard later. Oh, and he did. He did. Yeah, Pete, that's a good point, right? Given that Carl got 111, fairly quickly, in comparison, it shows how insane Dan 52 is, given that he hasn't got that yet. Nice boost. That's a 1-0. Body armor, 2-0. 3-0. He has a rocket set here, which is a little bit laggier. Could have lost a little bit of time just by luck there. Watch this now. Carl invented the bounce boost, losing no health. And that is the huge ticket. That was the key to getting all the boosts from the 12 grenade launcher ammos. That was the key for the 111. Still very hard. You have to pick up both. You have to clutch 2 grenade launchers. Certainly not easy. But Carl found the way. I guess this is 13-0 run. 49.06 ending. That's like a 111.8. Unbelievable. March 2016. The top comment is pretty good. How to kill a meme in 1 minute 11 seconds. Did he kill the meme? I mean, everyone still loves the 112, but certainly no longer the record. May it rest in peace. And now we are getting close to the end of this episode. I'm just going to show everyone else's 111s. 2 days later, March 10, 2016, Ilu would also get a 111. Now, the interesting thing was, Ilu, Ogran, and maybe Jez were playing on PAL, which, generally speaking, is slower on the low leg levels. So, the reason they're playing PAL is because, you'll notice on this run, the grenade boosts do slightly less damage. They do slightly less damage than they do in NTSC. And so the PAL guys were grinding hard, and they thought, okay, I can't get all 12 green launcher shots out on NTSC. Let's try PAL, we'll get all 12 out, and maybe that extra boost will make up for the inability to, or just the time lost with a little bit more lag. And you'll see Ilu doesn't pull off the bounce boost. He was kind of set in his ways at the time. He was not going to learn the bounce boost in a matter of days. But he grinded hard. He switched to Japanese NTSC as opposed to PAL in the later moments. And bingo, bango, boosto. But you see, again, one boost short. Still nail it. 48.88, dude. 48.88. I mean, that just reminds me how much I got screwed with that 112.99. The .88 rounds down. So this was literally a 111.98 or 97. Nice job, Ilu. Good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, he reacts pretty well here too.
Yes. Yes. Fuck yes.
Okay, not quite as good as Lockwood, but there you go. It's certainly a reaction. A month later, Jez was like the biggest, most mad flash in the pan eliter maybe ever. I don't know why he went for Streets 111 after getting 112, but he did. Nice boost there. There's the bounce. That was really close. 111, pretty insane. Ogran would be next to get it. June 2016. It's a good question, red screens, for sure. Yeah, so that's the thing is, Ogran would, moments before he got this run, days before, Ogran tied my Streets Secret Agent untied, 154. So he tied that, and he got 154 Double Agent untied. So Ogran going for the 111 was him going for the 300-point sweep on the stage. And in a lot of ways, unseating me at the time. I had 300 points when it was 112, 154, 155. Unseating me as the King of Streets. And not only that, I had been the King of Streets for a long time because I had 113, the second person to tie that. I untied 155 Secret Agent. So I was often, for much of my career, the guy who had 300 points on Streets when no one else did. And with this run, Ogran became this guy instead.
Yes! 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 I can't do a Mark impression. I'm sorry. Oh fuck, dude.
I think Ogran had 16 boosts there. Really, really insane run. And I guess we don't know the end timer. Or do we? Yeah. Hold on. Check this out. This one's insane. 49.25. And the cutscene was this one. So that's 110.75 plus 0.85, which is 111.60. 111.60. And he still had one grenade launcher left. So it's like, that brings up a good question. Is 110 possible? The extra boost could have been 111.3, yeah. Is 110 possible? That's the kind of question we have to ask ourselves now in 2017 on Streets. I'll show the other two Streets 111s. This is the one by Daniel Dickens, red screens. He was like not even the top 50, maybe 100 when he got it, which is really insane. And I was kind of shocked. I was like, man, that is an insane run. I mean, he played a lot for it, but you know, Mark and I played a lot for 112 back in the day, right? So Streets Agent is, you gotta play a lot. You gotta grind out a lot of runs. And everyone who has a good time on this level did that exactly. And it's like, okay. After red screens, one more person got Streets 111, it was Luke Sklar's. And that's it. And these were both done last year in 2016. So, no one has got a 111 since then. No one's got a 111. It's been over a year. Kind of crazy to think 6 people got 111 in 5 months. Red Strings and Luke both got it on August 14 of 2016, and no one since then. Now, the thing with Red Strings' run is it's the only one that's done on English NTSC. The rest of them are done on PAL, or rather, Japanese NTSC. 48.96, pretty damn good, dude. It's generally accepted that Japanese has better odds at guards, giving you KF7 boosts. And so that's why people use Japanese on this level. But English might be slightly less laggy. So nice job, Red Strings. And here's Luke's 111 as well. Trying to make a redemption for the 112 with the truck stuck. Silverin, it's very, very possible because the interest might not have been that heavily on the stage, right? And it's like, well, how like the thing is, think about how many possibilities we have for things to be different. What if Greg Lewis got 113 back in 2004? What if I got 112 in early 2012 or 2010 when I was going for it, right? So it's like, you know, what if? There's so many possibilities for things to be different, and I mean, it's like that on every GoldenEye level, but on Streets Agent, we can really, really see that. Well, that's the thing, right? So 110 today has to be considered in the same light as 112 was when I first started talking about it in 09. And people were getting mad about it, right? Ogran believes 110 is possible. And he's the best player on Streets right now, so when I was the best player on Streets, I said 112 is possible. No one believed me, but it was. Ogran's the best player on Streets now. He says 110 is possible. It's kind of dumb to doubt him. Luke, of course, with the new cheat available swag. Pretty nice. And, well, exactly, Ali. Like, if I got the 112, maybe people would have tied before then. Certainly the Lockwood video would not exist. It wouldn't. Butterfly effect and all. How much less attention might be on GoldenEye speedruns because of that, right? So it's like, in a lot of ways, you want to say the story would be best a certain way, but it's hard to ever deny that the story isn't the best the way it is naturally, right? So there's one last video I'm going to show you. If a Streets 110 were to happen, this might be what it would look like. This was Ogran's amazing run. You'll see what happens here. Take a watch.
What the fuck just happened? It's fast. This is really fast. Wow. Not jail, please. This is fast run. One. This is fast, this is pace. Oh, jail, please. No!
He had the grenade launcher, the guard rolled, and he couldn't kill him and get it. That is what happened. Now, let's make one last comparison. Let's look at my insanely low 113. This run. So remember this run, remember this time. I passed this pillar at 404.55. It ended up being a 112.99 or a 113.00. On Ogran's run, he passes that pillar at
Jail.
406.55. If he had the exact same ending that I had on that insane almost 112 from back in 2012, he would have had a 110.99 or a 111 flat. Obviously, it's unlikely. His health probably wouldn't allow it.
No!
But what if? Is a dream of 110 possible? Will it happen someday? Judging off of what I just told you about the past 20 years of Streets Agent, I think that it would be probably silly for you to estimate otherwise. So, there we have it, boys. There we have it. My friends, that brings us to the end of not only this episode, but GoldenEye 007 SpeedLore for the year. I'm truly appreciative of how much you've all loved being a part of this, as much as me. Like I said back in the first moments of this episode hours ago, this series has been a long, long time coming. And to fulfill what I said I was going to do with 10 episodes this year, and for you guys to enjoy them so much, it's been truly amazing. I've seen a few people comment on the videos, oh my god, why the last episode coming? Be so sad without lore. Okay, so look. I will be back next year with more SpeedLore. There will be no episode in December, but I have a few other things planned, as well as the 2017 year in review. We're going to be going over all of the best records from all the levels in GoldenEye this year. That's going to be really amazing. I've done that 2 years now, so this will be the third year. That'll kind of take the place of lore. January, Season 2 of SpeedLore. 10 episodes next year. Probably going to be doing the 10 levels that I didn't do this year. So Dam, Surface 1, Surface 2, Bunker 2, Statue, Archives, Jungle, Control, Cradle, Egypt. Probably not in that order. Maybe I'll delay 1 or 2 for another couple years, because Frigate and Silo are always so insane. But SpeedLore will return. Not only that, but we're also going to look into doing Perfect Dark SpeedLore. I know a little bit less about Perfect Dark than I do GoldenEye, of course, so obviously I want to co-host. I'm going to try to sort that with Carl, co-hosting in live time. Doing this with him across the world would be kind of tricky. If you know any good ways to do that, let me know. Reach out or comment. That'd be cool, because we really want to make it happen. Whether it's just 1 or 2 episodes, whether it's 5 or 10 episodes, whatever it is, we're going to try to do Perfect Dark SpeedLore. And there you have it. 2018's going to be really exciting. 2017 was really, really awesome, guys. But let's try to make 2018 even better. So with that, follow me, check me out Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. It's all at Our White Goose. Thank you all. I will see you soon. And my friends, in the wise words of self-proclaimed speedrun legend Cowan Hames, stay true, boys. Stay true.
I skipped 115. I ain't fucking legend. You see that clutchness? I am fucking clutch. And MRL time. Me and Mark runs out. Watch when I get the grenade launcher. Sorry, right in the fucking head. I've never seen a 113, 112 until I die.